So speaking of cancer, you were talking about cancer. Now, I want your opinion on this. So there's this YouTuber. I was thinking about making a video. She has this brain tumor. Okay, and she's this popular YouTuber who makes crappy robots. She's known for making crappy robots, and she got her brain tumor. She took the chemotherapy and radiation or whatever. He shrunk her brain tumor, but now her brain tumor has come back. I was thinking about making a video, maybe like giving her some advice because she's planning on doing radiation therapy. What would you tell someone who has like a brain tumor? What would be your advice for them? Because obviously radiation therapy is not the best at all.
No, you're right. No, radiation is last attempt. So like I was saying earlier, there's stages, right? There's stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Obviously, to tell somebody don't do it at stage 4, that's kind of messed up because they don't have many options at this point. Now, brain tumors are hard because you've got to get elements to that brain tumor and you have to remove certain elements as well. And because it's passing the blood-brain barrier, that's going to be tough. A tumor is when a clump of dead blood cells have actually accumulated, right? That's when they're basically rendered useless. If you were to grab a tumor on your skin, it's useless. You could cut it out and throw it away and still have cancer, but it's dead. That's why they like injecting certain things into those tumors to get rid of them. They've experimented with everything from like baking soda, remember, highly alkaline substance, but that's just dissolving those dead blood cells. That's not where cancer is. Sure, it'll hurt you really bad if it's in your brain, but it's not the tumor that's actually the issue. It's what's forming that tumor that's more of the problem. So she first needs to halt what's going on to make it worse so she can prevent it. Because if she can stop it at level 1 or 2, she can reverse it and they can go in and they can cut the tumor out. That's inevitable. They're going to have to do that with a brain tumor. That's the thing. That's the real hard part.
That's what she did the first time. So she got it cut out. Okay. Wow. She got a surgery. But then I guess some of it was still there, or maybe I don't know why it grew back. So now it's back again. Now she's going to do radiation therapy. I was going to suggest maybe she should try NAC. It's a supplement that it helps the liver produce a lot more glutathione. And I heard people take it when they get cancer. What do you think about NAC? Is that a good thing?
Yes, and she doesn't have to worry about toxicity levels. NAC is N-acetylcysteine, and it's a glutathione booster, really, really high. So it'll help pass the blood-brain barrier as well because NAC is actually found in the brain as well. So really good supplement. All those forms of niacin are really good because they all go to the brain. That's what's really good about that. But there's an actual mutation that's in her gene that causes brain tumors to form. So it's a genetic inheritance that she's actually gotten that causes this mutation. It's a genetic mutation. So that's what's deadly. I'll send you the name of that mutation with the genetic research that's on that so that she can combat it, right? So here would be my stat is she's got to worry about a couple of things. Okay. So we first have to get her on elements that are going to be really beneficial. So first one is going to be resveratrol, because it has therapeutic benefits to glioma cells, which are causing this in the brain. So resveratrol, curcumin, found in turmeric.
Yep.
Right. So that's a good one. Remember, absorption needs to be high, so it's absolutely going to be taken with caffeine to pass the blood-brain barrier. Then there's cannabinoids because they inhibit glioma cells through downregulation. So that is an absolute necessity for brain cancer.
So she should be on like Rick Simpson's hemp oil, where it's like the black tarry hemp oil that people have taken when they have cancer.
Yes, definitely. Next one will be olive leaf and olive oil. You want to have as much oleic acid that you can because it inhibits the cholesterol fatty acid synthesis of the C6 glioma cells. So that's a must. So olive oil every day and olive leaf as much as you can. And then bromelain as well, because bromelain is one of those powerful anti-inflammatories that can inhibit pretty much the properties of the invasive glioma cells. Okay. Then ashwagandha, the one you like, with astragalus, with chaga mushroom and caffeine.
How about iodine? Iodine, mineral. What
iodine is great.
Minerals
iodine is amazing.
Iodine, okay.
Yep. Iodine is invaluable to people. You only need it once a month. Keep that in mind. Iodine is very recirculative. If you were to consume seaweed and test iodine levels, it recirculates for a month. So you don't need iodine a lot. It's very highly uptaken into the body, meaning it's almost not even like a required element. I mean, it is because all elements are, but it's a trace element, meaning you need trace amount. So when you eat a lot of iodine, your body basically says, holy shit, and it just saves it. It doesn't know what to do with it. It's like taking lots of vitamin A. Your livers, if you never consume vitamin A in any form, even plants, beta carotene, you wouldn't have a vitamin A deficiency for 4 years. That's how long your body stores those vitamins. Remember, her mutation is genetic. So when she clears this up, keep on a protocol. Keep on doing those things. Don't just go, I'm cancer-free forever. She has this mutation, I have no doubt.
So if you're watching this, girl who makes crappy robots, the links are in the description. Go check them out.
Like if she had the brain tumor, for example, she would really benefit from taking that with caffeine or with alcohol. You're thinking like, what in the world? Here's what I would use if I was her. Here's a really good one. Apple cider vinegar.
Oh,
it's really good. You know why? Because cancer drives off sugar, right? So apple cider vinegar doesn't really have any sugar, and it doesn't have alcohol, and it doesn't have caffeine. So it really is a pretty good choice if you got cancer, so for something to do every single day. Second place would definitely be caffeine. Caffeine is a highly beneficial thing for cancer.
I didn't know that. So caffeine is it by itself, or is caffeine only good for cancer because of what it's helping absorb things into the brain?
I would clarify. I'd say that it's really good for all cancers for helping pull nutrients into the body better, but it's beneficial for a lot of cancers, but not all cancers for a different reason as well, because it allows cells to uptake things, but it's also somewhat detrimental to cells because it causes like that nervousness to cells. It causes them to work and produce more ATP, and you got to be a little bit careful because sometimes you don't want more cellular energy. Sometimes you want less, depending on the type of cancer that you have. So I don't say it as like a broad statement, like everybody with cancer needs caffeine. No, it depends on the form of cancer. So I just wanted to clarify that.
You know what I would think would be beneficial for a brain tumor is tons of garlic, because garlic passes the blood-brain barrier. It gets into the brain, and like imagine eating so much garlic, you could like saturate your tumor with like the garlic stuff. It's powerful, right? Garlic against cancer, that's a thing, right?
It is. As a matter of fact, the best way to actually get that is really fresh. They've actually found that by the time you take like a garlic supplement and you've consumed it, it's broken down, and by the time you break open, it's like it's like breaking open something and just leaving it for a little while, and it's oxidating. It's less potent. It loses potency so quickly that it's all about fresh garlic. And I would like people to just swallow a little clove at night, dice up a little square, something you can actually consume and swallow, and just swallow it whole before you go to bed.
But let's say we're recommending garlic for the girl who makes crappy robots. How much raw garlic should she eat?
I would say do it every 2 to 3 days, and do a ton on those days, like probably 2 or 3 times a day on those days. Like consume as much raw garlic as you can during that time.
Why not every day?
Because garlic is a immune system booster, and what happens when you constantly boost your immune system for too long, it plateaus. It's what's called oh wow, I can't think of the word. It's when your immune system can't tolerate it anymore, and it plummets below its natural levels. And since she's completely reliant on her immune system right now, you want an immunomodulator with it. For example, now garlic, since it only boosts the immune system, it can only go to the point where it goes, I can't tolerate running on overdrive all the time. It's like sprinting every time you eat, you go sprint. You eventually can't sprint anymore because you're messed up from sprinting.
Right.
It's like sprinting all the time. Your body can't keep up with that. It's too potent and it's too strong.
So what about reishi mushroom? That's like an immunomodulator, right? So if you took the garlic with reishi, that would help.
Yes, reishi mushroom or cat's claw, uno del gato, those are immunomodulators. They balance you out like sumo root. They have a tendency to balance your immune system, as where garlic is a pure immune system booster. So eventually you get what's called autoimmune disease from garlic. That's what we don't want. That's the repercussions of garlic. Now, as a cleanse, sure, I don't know how long she can run on it, because remember, her immune system is probably low right now anyway. It's trying to make more white blood cells. It's trying to make, keep your metabolic system high. It's trying to do a lot of things. So we don't want it to be low, but we don't want it to overrun either. And that's what garlic will do. It's a very powerful herb. Very.
Before we go on to the next topic, any more advice for the girl who makes crappy robots if she's watching this?
Yeah, sure. Let me see. Since it's genetic, don't worry about don't be stressing out about God, I wonder what I've done. And, what have I been doing that's been causing me cancers? Obviously you want to be cautious. Is your bed next to an electrical panel that's on the other side of it? Do you spend a lot of time at work standing near something that might be dangerous? Do you have a carpet that might have a lot of harmful elements on it that you're breathing in every day? There might be some factors, but hers is genetic. So keep that in mind. There might have not been anything particularly that you did. It was just time. It was inevitable that it was going to render itself up based on this genetic deleterious mutation that you have. So don't worry. You've got things now. You have an arsenal to fight it, and we'll work on this mutation level. But just know that you have a gene that's turned on that's causing you to have this. So we got to work on turning this gene off and suppressing everything that's going to cause this mutative gene to cause damage in the first place. So that can be done, and all of those herbs and foods that we've mentioned is that arsenal and that strategy for you. There isn't anything particularly that you probably did. And if there was, if you ate French fries every single day, you just sped the process up. But it wasn't a non-inevitable thing. It was eventually going to happen to you from this rare mutation. You just inherited. So just keep on the program and know that you have to epigenetically control and regulate that gene. Try to turn that switch off as much as you can. They found that there isn't anything that we can't reverse. So that's really good. That comes in the form of epigenetic tags, which are switches in the body that can turn on and off. Just because you inherited this harmful thing doesn't mean that you can't turn it off. And that's what we're trying to do with all these medicinal herbs and foods. We're going to target these direct cells that are causing this mutation and that are going into these cells, causing this tumor to form over and over and over. So this program you're going to be on can be preventative. So when you're better from it, you're just going to keep taking some of these things, and it's just going to prevent you from taking them, because what the pharmaceutical industry is going to do is they're just going to suppress it, and they're going to give you things to take it that are symptom suppression all the time. We don't want symptom suppression. We want cure. We want your blood to be clean forever. And that's what the protocol is designed to do. We want to clean those cellular cells, those glial cells out that are in the brain. We need to focus on those. So that's what I had to say.
Right. And now let's say she decides to go through with the radiation therapy. Obviously we wouldn't recommend that, but let's say she does anyways.
Yeah.
What could she take to kind of mitigate the damage that radiation is going to do to her brain? Because she mentioned in her video she could be at an increased risk of getting dementia. Even at her young age, she could get dementia just from the damage that the radiation is going to do to her brain.
The radiation itself is supposed to be really painless, but there are a lot of potential side effects that I'm trying my best not to think about, because as you're radiating the tumor, you can also damage a lot of the healthy cells. And once again, I'm running at risk of becoming blind, or this time around I might lose my hearing, I might also lose my hair, and I might get dementia at 28 years old. But I'm trying my best to forget about that.
We kind of went over that. It would be the pre-advanced protocol. So it would be high amounts of consumption of pectin types of food and pectin. So we're talking about apples, sunflower seeds, things that are really, really high in pectin. So lots of fruit. And then we're talking about sodium alginate, which are found in all seaweeds. We're taking about the nattokinase that's found in natto or fermented soy or even soy sauce. And we're talking about the rad neutral. So if she's doing all of those at the same time, even by the time she's going through radiation therapy, the cells will be protected. It'll already be full of these very beneficial protective elements, the sodium alginate, the scalarization. It'll have the sodium alginate and pectin. It'll have all of those things intrinsically formed and bound inside the cell. So what'll happen then is when they hit her with radiation, it'll kill some cells. There's no doubt. Remember, cancer cells themselves will be directly targeted from this, but your normal cells will be a lot protected, will be really protected. So that's going to be a lot of the thing. And she can go ketogenic while doing this process as well.
Oh, that would be good because the tumor feeds on sugar, feeds on carbs, right?
That's right. And bromelain breaks down the protein as well. And a lot of them have a lot of cancer cells have lots of protein things inside of them and around them. So they need to break down that, cellular membrane, that protector. So bromelain all the time, just take it like candy. I mean, it'll even burn your tongue because it breaks down protein so well. So you're just taking it's dirt cheap, so don't worry about it. Just take it continuously. It'll allow those cancer cells to be destroyed at an easier rate. Then you can take IP6, which is found in rice bran solubles. Yeah, and that's a really good one as well because it'll help make cancer cells more prone to being weaker. And there's another one as well. I think it's cordyceps mushrooms as well. Cordyceps and IP6, which is found in the rice bran solubles, are a way to aggressively starve the cancer out. But that's last case scenario. I say don't try to starve cancer because it's so hard. You're also starving your body, and you need your body to be strong while that process. So depending on the stage that you are, like stage 1, sure, starve cancer out. It's almost an immediate way to really, really do it. If you're stage 3 or 4, you're not starving it out without starving yourself because your body's still going to be producing carbohydrates. Your body has to produce carbohydrates to save your brain. Glucose is the only thing your brain can possibly run on because of the nutrients required. And no, wait, I just saw myself freeze.
Yeah, you just froze for just a second. You're good.
Yeah. So that would be it. Do it during that time. Sure. Allow that process to happen. But we're talking if she's just stage 3 and 4. If she's not, that's the last thing she actually wants to go through because it's like a total reset for everything. You know what I mean? It's a reset for every cell in your body. And sure, I mean, that sounds great, right? If it wasn't such a high non-success rate, like 50-50, if your chances of death weren't so high, if they were 20-80, sure, do it. Go ahead because you have an 80% chance of living and you don't want to progress to stage 4, for God's sakes. Do it. Go ahead. But it's not that high. So I can't recommend it first. I have to recommend natural things first because that's the only thing that makes sense.
All right. Well, you gave some great advice there. All right. So for the girl who makes crappy robots, if you're watching this clip, you're probably really confused by all this advice, and if you need any help following these protocols or whatever, in the description, I'll include Matt and Mai's contact information. Contact us. We'll assist you through the process, and may you live forever. The best of luck to you, and I hope you beat your tumor.
Nice. Good one, man.